On our second day of statistics, we're going to be looking at different kinds of graphs that you can make. We'll be looking at bar graphs, we'll be looking at a pie chart, we'll be looking at dot plots, we'll be looking at stem and leaf, maybe some of those phrases or words you remember from junior high, okay? Anyway, we're going to be making different kinds of graphs, and hopefully this will all go pretty quickly and fairly easily, okay? So let's get started. This is qualitative data. Quantitative data is when you're working with numbers. Qualitative data is when you're working with other things that are not numerical. All right, so now the first thing I have to do is to come up with a tally chart as to what I have here, okay? And so what I've got brown, BR, I've got black, BL, I've got red, R, I've got blonde, let's make that BO, better not, let's make it BLO. I think that's all of them, okay? And that one on the end, we're going to call that one brown. All right, so here we go. So let's count. First, let's get the brown ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We said that was brown. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Check it one more time. Brown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So we have 11 brown ones. Now, how about the black ones? The black ones, we've got 1, for as far as hair color here, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So 1 black. Red hair. Red hair, we have 1, 2, 2 reds. And how about blonde? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So we have 6 of each, or 6 blondes. Now, if you want to do a bar graph, as far as this, we could give it a title. We could call this hair color. Okay? Then down along the bottom, we're going to put the number. All right? And along this side will be, strike that, sorry. The numbers should go here. And the colors should go down here. So color here. And what have we got? We've got brown. Okay, so we'll put brown in the very first one, BR. We're going to skip one. We're going to put black here. We're going to put red here. And we're going to put blonde over here. Notice how I'm skipping. Okay, this was BLO for blonde. All right, 4 different hair colors. Now, we've got to get 11 brown hair. Do we have enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Barely. We'll try to squeeze it in. So brown, we've got 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is going to come up 2 more, like this, okay? And here is the bar graph representing brown, okay? 1 blonde, or 1 black-haired person there. 2 red here. And 6 blonde, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here are the blondes. Very, very easy to do. Now, there's a couple things to notice. Make sure you title everything. Your axes are titled, and there's a title for the graph. Also, notice how with qualitative data, the bars do not touch each other. There's a reason for that. The number of brown-haired people has no effect on the black-haired people. They're totally different people, okay? Whereas when you're doing quantitative data with numerical data, like for instance, think about a very warm summer day and what the temperatures are at various times throughout the day. You want to see a nice curve where it starts out cool in the morning, gets very warm in the afternoon, then gets down cool again. And you can see a progression. One is earlier than the other, so it's cool to start, it gets warmer, and they kind of have a nice, it looks like a nice connected flowing graph. These, there's no connectiveness whatsoever because they're totally separate colors and have nothing to do at all with each other. All right, now let's talk about making a pie chart. To make a pie chart, you have to have a circle, and you have to have the center of the circle, and you draw one radius. Okay, now let's go back to this. Okay, we know that 11 out of the total, and how many total were there? 6 and 2 is 8, 9, and 11 is 20. So we know that 11 out of 20, okay, 11 out of 20 represents the brown-haired people. 1 out of 20 represents the black-haired people. 2 out of 20, which is 1/10, represent the red-haired, and 6 out of 20, or 3/10, represents the blondes. Okay? Now, we know in a complete circle there are 360 degrees. Yes? 360 degrees. We want 11/20ths of that to represent the brown-haired people. 11/20ths of 360. So you've got to take 11 over 20 times 360. Okay? You could cancel 20 into 360, but it's just as easy with a calculator. Multiply your tops, 11 times 360, and multiply your bottoms is 20, so divided by 20, and I get 198 degrees. 1/20th. I think that's 18 if my brain is working. That's 18 degrees. 1/10 is 36 degrees. 3/10 is 108 degrees. Okay? Now, you need a protractor to be able to do this. Okay? To do, I want to show you how it's done on the screen here. I made a bigger one that I can show you how it's done. What I would suggest for your homework is Google protractor and print out a picture of a protractor, a nice sized one, cut it out with a pair of scissors, and you have a protractor. Okay? Protractors go from 0 to 180. All right? 0, make sure you know which side you're starting on. With a protractor that you get online, you can either start at the right and go to the left, or you can start at the left and go to the right. It doesn't matter. The homemade one I made, I'll always be starting here on the right. So my first one is 198 degrees. Now, if I go the whole way around, over to where it's straight diameter, isn't that 180? Okay, so don't I need to get 198? From 180 comes the whole way there, I need 18 more degrees. So I'm going to put my protractor center right here at the center of the circle, and I need 18 more, which looks pretty close to being right there. Now I'll draw that line. So this line comes up through like this. Okay? And I can see that this is the representation for brown-haired people. Let's get a percentage. 11 divided by 20 is 55%. So I know that 55% are brown hair. Yeah? Everybody sticking with me? Next one, 18 degrees. I'm just going to keep working my way down around the circle. 18 degrees, lay it at the center. Make my mark again where I think it is 18. Come up through and draw the line. And I have 1 out of 20. 1 divided by 20 is 5%. This is 5% black-haired folks. Okay? Next one is 36 degrees. I'm just keep swinging this protractor around. Keep rotating it. I want to go to 36, which is about there. Okay, draw my line up through here like this. 1/10 is 10%, yes? So this is 10%. which is red-haired folks. The remainder should be about 108, okay? And that is going to be 3/10, which is 30%, would then be blonde, okay? Just for kicks, I'm going to measure and see how close I came to 108. Well, it's close, right? It's close. You'll be able to do much better. There is your pie chart for hair color. Okay? But you have to have a protractor and a calculator to be able to figure out degrees and also percentages. The degrees, you multiply your fraction or your percentage by 360. To get your percentage, you just divide 11 by 20. It's 0.55, which was 55%. Okay? Everybody with me so far? All right, let's get rid of this. And this. And continue on. Okay, so. All right, given the following quantitative data. Now, this is numerical, okay? This is numerical data. We call it quantitative. We want to do a dot plot. We also want to do a stem and leaf diagram. All right, so these are pretty easy, really. Let's check my data here. My data goes from 55 up to about 100, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this line, and you must make a uniform scale here. So I'm going to go from 50, and up here, I'm going to stop at 100, okay? So I've got to divide this up, 60, 70, 80, 90. So let's say 60, and this would be about 90, and this would be 70 and 80, okay? Here would be 55, 65, 75, 85, and 95. All right, now you just make a dot plot, okay? Real easy. 55, dot, 59, dot, 65, 67, 67 because there's two of them, you put that one right on top of the other one. 68, 73, 75, 76, 77, 78, you have three of them. Okay, 82, 83, 86, 88, and we have 90, we have 92, and 97. And that is called a dot plot. It kind of looks like a bar graph, doesn't it? Because as you get more of one kind, your dots get higher. So it's somewhat like a bar graph. All right? Stem and leaf display. Let's do a stem and leaf here. Now, stem and leaves come from the first digit is your stem, and the second digit are your leaves. So I have stems. I have 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay? Now, do you see I have 55 and 59? So here is 55 and 59. 55, 59. Okay? 60s, I have 65, 62 67s, and a 68. So I have 65, 2 67s, and a 68. Are you with me? Okay. 70s, I've got a 73, a 75, a 76. I have a 77, and then I have 3 78s. Ah, yes. Good old stem and leaf diagrams. 80s, I've got an 82, an 83, an 86, and an 88. 90s, I have a 90, a 92, and a 97. And you see how that looks like a bar graph? It looks like a bar graph looking at it this way. The bars run that way. All right? And it looks different from this one because of the way we're doing it. We're grouping it by 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Okay? If you did a regular bar graph, and grouped it by the 50s, the 60s, it would look like this, only the bars would go up and down. All right? All right, so now with quantitative data, we call the bar graph the histogram. Okay, so let's come down here. I'll get rid of this. Okay, it says create a histogram and a relative frequency histogram. All right, now we have to figure out how we're going to group our data. Okay, because there are so many different categories. Like back when we did the hair color, we only had 4 categories: brown, black, blonde, and red. Okay? If you only had 4 numbers, like 12, 15, 19, and 18, you could put 12, 15, 18, and 19 down here and add all those up. But we've got a lot of different numbers. So we've got to decide on something that'll give us classes. Okay? So we could do, like, for instance, we could start with 10, because 12, it looks like, is the smallest. And we have to go up to 30, don't we? So what if we went from, let's say, 10 to 15? Okay, so we have a class. If we have 10 to 15, then we have, this is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 6. If we go 16 to 20, that's only going to be 5. So how about let's go 11 to 15 would be 5 units there. Then we'll go 16 to 20. Then we'll go 21 to 25. Then we'll go 26 to 30. Okay? And we don't have any more of that. So we'll have only 4 bars. Okay? You might quibble, you may want to go smaller so you have more bars, but 4 or 5 is just fine. All right, let's see how many we got here. From 11 to 15, let's do it this way. I have a 12, I have a 15, I have a 19, an 18, an 18, a 17, and a 19, and a 16, and a 19. Now, did I do that right? 12 and 15 are 2 of them. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in this group. Yeah. Then I have 22 and 25, 2 in that group. I've got a 27, which is down in this group. 19 is back in this group. 29 is down here. 14 is back in this group. 17 is in this group. 28 is down here. And 21 is here. Okay? So let's double check that I did this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 scores. 3 and 9 is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Got it. Okay? So we want just a regular histogram. Okay, so this is the total number. Let's put the total here. And let's put data down here. Over here, when we do the relative, this will be the percentage, and down here will be the data. Okay? All right, so this is our regular histogram. Trying to get titles. Relative histogram. All right, so the regular histogram, we're going, this is 11 to 15. And because there's only 4, I'm going to do these in groups like this. Okay? So here is 11 to 15, 16 to 20, 21 to 25, and 26 to 30. Same thing over here. 11 to 15, 16 to 20, 21 to 25, and 26 to 30. There. Okay? All right, so I have 3 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This goes up to 5. Okay? So I have 3 in the first group. 1, 2, 3. There's my first group. I have 9 in my next group. 6, 7, 8, 9. I need to go up that high. There is my next group. I have 3 in the next to last, pardon me. Oops. 3 here. and 3 here. Okay? That is a histogram showing the data grouped, called limit grouping. Now, relative histogram. Relative means how big is this first one going to be in relationship relative to the whole group? There are 18 in the whole group. We have 3 out of 18. So we have 3 divided by 18. This is 17%. 9 divided by 18, I know that that's 50%. 3, heaven's sakes, they're all 3s. Okay, so that's 17% and 17%, I think. 3 divided by 18 is 1/6, which is 17%. You might say, why do these not add up to 100? Because what I'm doing is rounding each of these off. They're technically 16.6, okay? And I rounded them off to 17. That's why they don't add up to 100. All right, so let's figure out how we're going to put our percentages. We need to get up to 50%. So we could go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Might be the easiest way to do it. So there's 10%, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Okay, so all of these 3 are 17. So the 11 to 15 is at 17% there. Then we go up to 50%, which is here. And then the last 3 are exactly this, the last 2 are exactly the same. Okay? Now, when you do your relative histogram as compared to your regular histogram, they should look similar. This one you can see is kind of scaled down. All of them are a little shorter than this, but it still has the general shape is exactly the same. Okay? So your problems today are going to deal with dot plots, bar graphs, pie charts, histograms, relative histograms. Make yourself a protractor, and I think you will be fine.